So, welcome to this little stream. I am Philip Stern. I am lead game designer on PinKeep, which we're gonna have a look at now. So, I think we just start with a new game and take our lovely friend Nish here, who is a very opportunistic, greedy, and insolent person and likes to shoot their enemies from afar. So we have a lot of ranged buildings here, and we will look into how you play a build like that. So this is the overworld map. You can see there are a few typical roguelike elements where you find your way through that map, have some tougher fights along the way, and some normal fights, and maybe some events that help you out. So let's just dive in. This here is a typical PinKeep level. You see you have the ball down here, and you have those gates, and enemies start spawning from those gates, like this one here. You can click on them and see what they are. This is just a normal soldier, does 1 damage, and has an accuracy of 30%. So, yeah, they're dangerous in large numbers. And yeah, we have our flippers down here and our ball. Now we try to hit that guy by using our flippers. So you can see here, it's always a good advice to stop the ball and then let it roll down, and you have much more control over it to actually hit your enemies. So let's try if we can get one in. Oh, I lost the ball. So you also have a time slow by pressing space, which is very helpful when the ball comes very fast at you. So yeah, you can actually stop time in this game. And there's another really cool feature. You can use your mouse to actually flick the ball at enemies. So you can flick that over the map and hit enemies that are hard to hit with your flippers. This here is a funny little guy. He's a trader, and if you click on him, you get the options to buy some stuff. Right now, we don't have any pearls. We need pearls to buy cards from them. So let's close the shop again, and let's try to gather some pearls so we can buy stuff. So now, this one is a situation where it's really nice to just use the force push and hit the enemies like that. So there's another very cool feature in PinKeep. You can use these cards to actually build stuff on the playfield and build like your flipper playfield. So I'd like to place that one around here. And that one shoots just arrows at enemies, but also shoots the ball right out the front. So it can be used to hit that guy over and over again. Yeah, so let's let them pass on. So now you can see we can actually use that to gather a lot of resources and direct them at resources. So the ball has this number on it, and there's like 157 in there. So we want to get that money, and we do that by delivering it to a trader over there. And you see, now we got some pearls. So the higher the value of the stuff you collected in the ball is, the more pearls you get. You also get money for defeating enemies. Yeah, so there's still only one enemy left, but let's still build some stuff. This here is a Spitzer, which is also a really nice building that shoots arrows in all directions, but not that focused as the gate. So this is one more AoE building, and the other one is more precise but more directed and is more active. So we did our first level, and as you can see here, we got a lot of coins. We got a lot of pearls because per 20 coins we deliver, we get from a trader, we get 1 pearl. And so for the 157 that we got a lot of pearls. And also you get per 50 coins you deliver. So we get 3 for the 150, so per every 50 and per every 20 that we delivered at once. Then we also get some pearls for buildings, and we get some pearls for completing a level and completing a level without taking damage. So that's really neat. So what are pearls used for? So after every fight we get some selection of new cards we can choose from. So we could empower our flippers, buy a new gate, which we already seen, or buy a fighter outpost that actually calls some Neblin fighters out, and they will attack the knights themselves. But right now I'm not seeing something very interesting. I mean, the gate would be nice because it will also give us +1 to ranged. So that actually is a pretty cool thing. But I want to show you what I can do with the pearls. I can re-roll our choices. So the first one is for free, and then the second one starts to cost. Yeah, draw 2 cards would be cool. Disassemble is also really nice. You can remove a building and get the card back. Now let's move on. An additional flipper. Haste is also pretty cool. It reduces your force push cooldown by a lot. Yeah, let's get some economy going. Yeah, this is a village, and it gives you some passive income, and it's a good advice to have some economy buildings that help you gathering coins fast in the beginning of the game, so you can build your stuff. So let's take on that one. Yeah, I think we go for another fight right here. So this is one of our pachinko levels with a lot of resources around the map, so that's really good to gather a lot of stuff. But let's just start off with building some nice buildings. Yeah, let's just start off with the village. Let's place that over here and then direct it maybe at the trader up there. So these arrows mean that it will shoot the ball out in that direction if the ball is captured by it. So first we have these rocks in our path, but afterwards it will land on the trader over here. So let's just build it right there. And so if it captures the ball, we can test it like that, and then it shoots it out at the different resources we have up there. And so it collects a lot of resources, but also the building, as you see, gives us coins now and then. So that's just an early investment building, so we can gather up some coins and then build our other stuff. Alright, so the knights are approaching. Let's kill some of them. Oh. And you can always save the ball by just using your force push if it would fall down. So we have enough money to build something else. I think we place a gate right here and again point it at the resources we have up there. Sometimes the ball can get stuck, but usually it frees itself after some time. So right now I just don't have to play a lot anymore because I get my 2 buildings that actually shoot the ball in the directions I want. And there's a spitter. The spitter is good for, I think, a lot of enemies are coming that way. So let's do that, and maybe also our gate will trigger our spitter up there. Yeah. Now it starts to work out. Perfect. Alright. We also have a well right here that's also kind of an economy building. So if we touch the well with the ball, the ball will get wet, and we also get more resources from plants. So if I hit a tree with a wet ball, I get more resources out of it. And also, I can infuse my archers with water, so if something is burning or an enemy has a torch or something, then the torch will go out and they're not able to burn stuff anymore. So, 3 enemies left. Maybe we get some more coins out of that. Yeah, another 25, another 2 pearls. That's really nice. Alright, last enemy up there. So there's also another cool mechanic. There are not just buildings in the game, you also get action cards. So I can take that action card, which is an arrow hail, and just place it on that enemy and kill. So as you see, we got again 10 pearls out of just delivering coins to the trader, or getting coins from the trader, and the rest, again, we didn't take any damage, which is nice. So, what does the cards have in stock for us? Oh, that's a nice gate right there. Yeah, you can see it. It's a nice gate because it gives us +1 to ball damage, so the ball we have does more damage. At some point, the enemies are going to get stronger, and then it's going to be relevant to do enough damage to them. So, we might... Well, we have a lot of pearls. Maybe we can roll for something better. Promo cards. A development gate. So development is really cool. It reduces the cooldown of your force push and also helps you out with some stuff. This makes conditions last longer and stuff like that. But nah, I'm thinking moving on. A trapper. That guy just lays out traps, so you have to activate him, and then he walks around and lays out traps on the map. Yeah, let's move on. Yeah, that's what I want to see. A training range. A really cool building that shoots arrows in a straight way out, and lets you point the ball quite frequently at stuff. So I'll show you it later. But right now, let's go into an event. So throughout the game, you have some events, and Nobert here, our advisor, is telling us about the pot. So everything we find, we deem edible, we throw in there, and it's a very efficient way of providing sustenance to our people. But the level is dropping rapidly, and we should send out a raiding party to gather more ingredients. So who should we send? So you get some skill checks here, and as we have 2 in ranged, it's advisable to send the archers, because if we get the tooltip, you can see we have a higher chance of getting an upgrade, adding an upgrade to our keep. So upgrades increase the numbers over here. We have a chance of losing population, but I think it's worth the risk. Also because here we have on both only 60% chance, and here we have 64. So let's try it. Oh no, we lost. Sadly, we lost 1 population there. Yeah, let's move on. It doesn't really matter right now. So let's go there. And this is an elite fight, and you can see the number of enemies that remain up here is higher than we usually have. They're a bit more dangerous fights, and I think we should start off with a village again to just gather some resources. And again, we're pointing them at the resources on the map. So if the rocks here get hit more often, not hidden. If we hit the rocks more often, we get more stone, and more stone means more resources and more money for us. So we're already almost up to 50. Thanks for killing that guy. Come on, can we get up to 60? That would be nice. That would be free. Yeah, nice. Oh, that one's getting close. I think we are able to just get rid of that guy. So now our ball is free, and we already got almost 100 coins in there, so let's deliver that up there. And now we really gotta get rid of those guys. So let's put the gate here and then just like let our archer do that work for us. But if you place a gate like that, it will be activated immediately, and you can also get some information on the gate. Oh, another trader. Now we have a lot of pearls, and we can use that to buy something. Should we buy another gate? Yeah, let's do this. Let's buy another gate. That can't hurt. So, also in PinKeep, it's really nice whenever you need some time to think, you can just slow the game and by pressing space or pressing like right click and just look at the map, look where the enemies are and where you want to place stuff. Also, if you hover over the cards, you get a full time freeze, so you have all the time to think you need. So, right now, I think this is very efficient in getting resources there, but let's have a look at the training range. So the training range is a building the ball can enter from every direction, so it doesn't matter where you hit it, it will always fire the ball in that direction that the arrows indicate. So, and it also fires 3 arrows over time, so we have that range covered there, and every time the ball will come down here, it will just go back in the village. Activate that guy to fire on this one, and maybe shoot that one. Alright. Yeah, you can see now that guy shot him, or shot the ball at him. Let's just activate that one to fire over there. So you can see the elite fight. There's a lot more enemies around the map. Let's put on some more defenses to just help out with that. And you can see enemies sometimes have shields where the ball can't affect them, but luckily our ranged stuff can. So let's just activate that and get him. Okay, we need really to activate over there. We have a lot of coins. A spitter. I mean, a spitter would be nice. Oh, a spitter would be nice right here, but we need to activate it. Oh yeah, we already used our... We already used our ranged shot. Alright. Now that guy down there is a bit scary. Let's force push him, but I don't think we have enough damage to just kill him immediately. So I hope we get the ball down there again pretty soon. That can be a problem if you set up your buildings well enough, so they will push around the ball. Oh, now we got it down there. Okay, we missed that one. So, but we can back force push him and then get him like that. And this one will kill the last one. So that was getting quite intense, but I mean, usually elite fights are more intense. They take a lot of effort, and then you gotta really think about where you place your stuff to defend. So here for the first time we get a permanent upgrade. We have your cards. If you look at your deck, you have your cards and they give you the upgrades as long as they're on the playfield. So if you build them, you get those upgrades and those improvements to power. For example, if I have my well down, I get +1 in ranged, and range depends. Range changes how much damage my ranged buildings do. So with permanent upgrades, it's different. They are all the time, and they also help you in events. So if I have a skill check for ranged, for example, or we had a ranged skill check, and then this number helps me to get better results. But right now, I think we just go for more ball damage because we use the ball quite often to hit enemies. And here, after every elite fight, you also get to choose to swap out your ball. There are a lot of different balls in the game. I think it's about around 10 right now, but there will come more. Right now that we have Boing, that's just a very bouncy ball that flinks. It's harder to control, but flicks around the map really fast, so you can hit a lot of enemies. Resin slows enemies, and also if they're set on fire, they explode. And the chunky ball is a bit slower. It's a bit heavier and it's bigger, so it's easier to hit stuff. But it also removes shields of enemies, so that's also pretty cool. I think we'll start off with let's go with a resin ball, because resin also infuses our ranged buildings, and that slows the enemies. When our ranged or our archers hit an enemy, they will be slowed with a resin arrow. So let's have a look. These are spots where we can heal, so we luckily didn't take any damage as far, so we will just increase our health. Let's go to the next fight then. So we have the two spines right here. Oh yeah, that's also a neat feature. If you shoot the ball right at stuff in the beginning, you get protected from it dropping. But you can see now, in the beginning, there are already tougher enemies coming, which need 2 hits, so I think that ball damage increase was actually quite useful. So, I think I want a gate right there, and I think I put my well over there. Alright, we have one on the back. So it's also good advice to track, sometimes stop and then just check where your enemies are, because they sometimes hide behind stuff, and then you miss them, and then you take damage. So we can already build something more. Let's do that, and let's put a splitter right there. And you can see right now my ball is infusing them with resin, so you can see the splurges there. So right now the ball is infused with water because I hit the well, and then now he's changed to water over there. Alright, that works quite well right now. Oh, I want that gate over here. So you can see right now there is no build spot there, but if I hit that tree, if I would hit that tree, well, let's wait, maybe we can hit it another way, but probably not, it's quite out there. Okay, let's hit it right up, and you see the last tree got killed, and now we have a build spot there. So I put the gate up right there, and that will help us out with all the enemies that are walking down here. Of course, we still have to activate it, but we'll get there. Oh, now you can see here's a torch enemy, which is called a shielded soldier. That's wrong. That shouldn't be a shielded soldier, but you know. Early development. I hope you forgive this. But yeah, the torture actually can light my buildings on fire, and I don't like that, so he needs to go. maybe we can hit that merchant again to get buy some stuff. Yeah. Let's get another trading range. There's only one enemy left, so just like put that one down so we can actually. Oh yeah, let's deliver those cones. That's a lot more pearls right there. Okay, one enemy left. Like that. All right. Another card to choose. A resiner. Could be cool, but since we already got a resin ball, I don't think we need him. It does also infuse the ball with resin and creates resin patches on the ground we can set on fire if we get some fire. So I think we should dig for a torch or maybe even a fire pit. Oh, Outpost Rider is also pretty cool. One of the Neblins jumps on the ball and shoots at enemies, shoots an arrow at enemies in range, so you get a lot more range out of your ball. This is also pretty nice to have a +2 ranged upgrade on that trapper, so that would increase our damage quite a lot. But I think I want to roll for fire. Oh yeah, oh, here's the Horner. Yeah, we didn't do a card image yet for that one, but that's also pretty cool. You can hit those targets, and if all targets are hit, he blows the horn and wakes up all the Neblins on the field. So usually you have to like hit a building to make the Neblin on it. So we call those little guys Neblins to wake up with the gate, for example. And so if you use the Horner will just toot the horn and wake all the Neblins up on the map. So here's a torch. It also gives us +1 alchemy, so that's actually quite perfect, but I would love to have a fire pit. So the difference between a torch and the fire pit is the torch will go out if you collect the fire with a ball. The torch is going out. You can relight it by hitting it again with the burning ball, but it will extinguish for 40 seconds, so that's quite long. And what's nice about the fire pit, it doesn't extinguish. So I tried to roll for a fire pit. We have some pearls left here, so let's hope we get one. All right, now we only have one reroll left. I think, yeah, let's go with that torch. Should have taken the first torch, that had a nice upgrade on it, but ball damage is fine as well. So, this level is pretty neat. There's a lot of trees in here, and for once we don't start out with the village, because I really like the training range in this level, because it helps us get rid of that forest. Now you can see there are a lot of tortures coming in, and if I hit them with the resin ball, there's an explosion there. So if any other enemies are nearby, because resin and fire react and make stuff explode. So the tortures get exploded when I hit them with a resin ball or a resin infused ball. And also the same goes for the arrows my guys shoot that are infused with resin. Well, let's put another one up here. Just dismantle that forest. And so you can see there's a lot of resources I'm gathering right now, so it gets trickier and trickier to get through, because the only station where I can get rid of or can get my money is up there. Okay, so what are we doing now? There are a lot of catapults on the map. Catapults are quite dangerous. They don't do a lot of damage, but they have a lot of health, and they stop close to your keep and then just start shooting rocks at it, and they will until you defeat them. So they can do a lot of damage to you. And it's your advice to get rid of them or start damaging them as soon as possible. You can see enemies that are hit and not killed by my resin ball get these splurges, and that means they have a resined condition, so they are slowed, and that helps us to have more time to defeat them. Okay. Oh, there's one coming. Oh, I drew the torch. I drew the torch. Oh, I would like to have that little build spot there. Okay. So if you remove trees, you get a build spot beneath at some point, but here in the middle... Ah, I lost that one. Oh no, that guy is blocking my archer. Don't do that, please. Alright, I don't think I can work on that, getting that build spot in the middle. I got one over there. Oh, now I got it. So let's put a torch there. Because if I fire infuse my resin ball, everything it touches will explode. And that is really helpful to deal with catapults or tougher enemies, because you get not only the hit damage from the ball, but you also get the explosion damage, which is quite nice. Relight the torch. Oh, I don't have the force push right now. Well, let's get those guys over there. That was a good explosion, and we got both of them. You can see now the catapult is over here, and it starts to charge. I don't like that, but this guy is a bit more dangerous. I think the rocks will hit the trees over here, so we're kind of safe right now from that one. So let's do that shot. Okay, that didn't work. Oh, that was the last tree. Okay, I need to deal with that guy. Yeah, okay, I got that one. What are we doing right now? Oh, now you can see we took 1 damage. I don't have a force push right now, so that sucks. I can take, yeah, let's do that. I can take the gate and place it downwards so it can hit. Yeah. Whew, that was close. That was close. We finally took 1 damage. So, let's have a look at what we get here. I think a second torch could be nice. We're up to 9 pearls per reroll. Come on. Okay, let's do another one. I don't like the smithy. The resin storage is okay, but we have a resin ball. We don't need that. Yeah, we got another torch. That's good. That's good. So, and we already are finished with that map. So in the full game, there will be 3 maps you can play through, and with each with a boss at the end. But right now, for the demo, it's just 1 map and 1 boss at the end. So let's check that one out. All right. Let's put some torches up. So, this is Hammer. Hammer likes to build stuff, and he has a lot of builders around him. So, if you let him, he will spawn some builders. He also is easily distracted, so... no, I mean, it's just... You can, as you hit him, he gets these spikes around him, which make him invulnerable. And we try to hit him every time, so he stops what he's doing. So sometimes he would go up here and summon some enemies, maybe sometimes he walks somewhere, and will build some stuff. But right now we are setting him constantly on fire, so every time he reaches a place he just takes fire damage. Now he's invulnerable again. And now we hit him. Let's build some more stuff. Second torch, because as you can see, this one is out of fire right now. So we build a second one, and we can light the ball there, and then we can hit the first one and reignite that one. Well, we can do that. Do the same with this one. Oh yeah, he sometimes spins and is also invulnerable when he does that. So let's show off what he can do and let him build something. So he will occasionally build these towers, and these towers spawn enemies if he's up there. So every time he tries to go up there, he raises his hand and then he tries to spawn some enemies. So, and you can stop him from doing that by hitting him. That one, we got that one, and we got that one. No, you don't. Oh, I just broke him. Okay, no, he's fine. I just stole the spot he wanted to build on. Because I don't like it if he builds towers that close. Because it will spawn enemies really close to the keep, and that will be a problem for me. So you should use in this boss fight. It's advised to use the closer build spots as soon as possible. I don't want to use the well because the well will extinguish my fireball, the fire from my ball. So I don't want that. Nope, you're not. So if he's up here or over here, there are some rocks, and then he uses those rocks to actually shoot rocks at your keep. So you don't want that either. Now he built some walls and wants to spawn some enemies, but we won't let him. We can use our force push to actually prevent him from spawning more enemies. Sometimes you want him to spawn more enemies because you get money from enemies, and sometimes you need the money to build your stuff. Oh, he's walking. I don't want you to walk over there, please. And yeah, in the middle he built some walls over here, and I think he's about to die. So let's hit him one last time with the ball. No. Oh no, okay, one more. One health left, and he's dead. So that was the first round of PinKeep with our ranged and slightly resin build, or slightly alchemy build. You can collect some experience, and if you have enough, you get a second character, which is more focused on the whole alchemy stuff. And this one is focused on ranged stuff. There are a lot more cards in there, and there will be a lot more different characters to choose from and different buildings to build. But yeah, that's I think it for now. Thanks for tuning in and coming along for the ride. If you enjoyed what you saw, go grab PinKeep, the demo. It's right now free on Steam, and let us know what you think. Give us some feedback. That would be awesome. Thanks so much, and bye.